we're live. It's Chris Igoe, Igoe Home Group, powered by Remax Direct. And today I'm going to break down a recent phone conversation I had with a canceled listing where I set the appointment and eventually got the listing. If this is something, if you find this content to be valuable, if it resonates with you, if this is something that you believe you would like to learn how to do, then congratulations, great news. We are here to help you. Matt Kavanaugh and myself, Bulletproof Sales Academy, we have come together, joined forces, and we are going to do an in-person real estate boiler room bootcamp event where we are going to teach you exactly how to do this every single time you get on the phone. We have a system, a process. We've created tools to weaponize you and teach you to set appointments literally every single time you get on the phone. So our last one was very successful. We set 60 appointments, hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of potential commissions to be earned. But it starts with the ability to set an appointment on the phone. And that is what I've become an expert at and what we are going to teach you how to do. So I'm going to break down this call right now. If it resonates, if it's something you want to learn more about, then click the links to sign up. Reach out to myself, reach out to Matt, or click the links to see some testimonials from agents who attended the boot camp, set a discovery call, learn more about the process. But without any more further ado, I'm going to show you exactly what I do, what my mindset is, and analyze and dissect this phone call for you. And I hope you find it to be valuable. So without any more build up, here we go. Let's make that screen bigger. Okay, so this is how to convert a canceled listing into an actual listing. Hello. Hey, it's Chris Igoe with Remax. I'm giving you a call. I noticed your property listing was canceled in the MLS. I was curious, how on earth did the property not sell? All right, so we're 11 seconds into this phone conversation, and I think it is imperative that you understand that the number one thing that you have to separate yourself from every other person out there making calls to this potential prospect or this potential client is vocal swagger. So when you get on the phone, they don't see you. They don't know who you are. You're a stranger over the phone. The only thing that you have to establish yourself as an authority is your vocal swagger. So it is critical that you or that I master the intro to, well, it's critical to master every facet of this pitch, but the intro is the first 10 seconds of this call. It's critical to be totally dialed in, to have inflection in your voice. You don't want to be flat. You don't want to be stale. You want to have some vocal pop, some vocal swagger. And you want to have it down so reflexively that I could call you up at 3 a.m., wake you up out of a dead sleep, and you'd be able to say it the same way every time. That's how much practice it takes to become an expert on the phone. So my advice is, if maybe you're doing this at a very high level already, which is great. If not, then I would spend time analyzing every aspect of the first few sentences. I would draw it phonetically. I would practice it in front of a mirror. I would record myself and listen. It sounds a little bit unorthodox, but everybody, when they record themselves, for the most part, hates the way they sound. If you hate the way you sound, well, I got news for you. Tough. It's the way you sound. The only way to improve on that is to record it, know how you sound, and then practice the delivery and the inflection. And over time, you will develop vocal swagger. But it starts with the delivery, the crispness, the elocution of those words. If you want to achieve at a high level, you have to stand out vocally. And the only way to be able to do that is through practice. So record yourself and dominate in those first 10 seconds. All right, here we go.
I did not like my last realtor, so I terminated her. I signed with a new one yesterday.
So let me be very clear here. As soon as I heard I did not like my last realtor and I terminated her, I knew internally that I was getting this listing. Now, It is true. They said that they hired somebody else and they expect the listing to be up pretty soon. Most people at this point are going to get off the phone, say, thank you very much. You made a great decision. You're in good hands, or whatever else nonsense they say. I don't look at it that way. I look at it as if there is a gray area here, because the reality of it is they are not listed in the MLS. So I'm going to continue to push in this conversation because I know that I've got a fiduciary responsibility to solve their problem. I know that my systems and processes and teammates and ad spend and marketing are so far superior to anybody else out there that I know I'm going to find the one buyer on planet Earth willing to pay more than anybody else. I know that internally, so I can continue to keep pushing because I know that I'm going to do a better job than anybody else out there. So again, this is all within 2 seconds of me being on this, or however many seconds of me being on this call, but I know it to be true. So they said they hired somebody else. I keep pushing.
I expect the listing to be up pretty soon. She's just taking new photos today.
All right, so you've already listed then, right?
Yeah, it should be up today. So.
Oh, okay, I respect that. Who'd you go with? To be clear, I'm fishing here, right? So all I know is I've got somebody who's receptive to talking to me. I know that they fired their last realtor, terminated their last realtor, and allegedly they've got somebody else that's listing the property. I'm going to keep pushing, and that's what I'm doing here. So I'm fishing for more information.
What's the name of that firm? Hold on a minute. I don't even know the name of her firm. Her name is Beth, but I can give you her number.
Okay. Hey, so I now know that this was a listing that was on the market. It's in a very high price point, and they terminated the last realtor. They hired somebody else, and whoever they hired was so not memorable that he doesn't remember the name of the person or the firm. To me, that is a clear indication that I need to step up here and demonstrate my value to be able to help them get what they want, which is their home sold. Again, we're real estate professionals. We are out there. I'm not here to talk about the weather. I'm not here to be your friend, although maybe I'll be your friend. I'm really interested in solving the problem that you have, which is that you had an agent that failed you. You've got somebody else that you may or may not have signed with that you don't even remember their name. And I know that my method is going to get you more money with less stress. So I'm going to continue to keep pushing. Would it offend you if I texted you my contact information so that you have it? If there's ever anything I can do to help you out in any way as far as real estate's concerned, you know where to find me. All right? I asked that question it is important to set the dynamic where you get the prospect to start saying yes to you. So I'm asking very innocent questions that are easy to say yes to. And by doing that, I'm starting to change the psychology of whoever it is I've said I'm talking to on the other side, because I'm getting them to say yes. You want people to say yes. So the more times, typically if I can get them to say yes 3 times, I then can close.
Yeah, you can definitely give me a number.
So that's the first yes. Awesome. Okay. And this is your cell phone that I called you on?
Yes, it is.
That's the second yes. Perfect. All right. Do you work with an email address?
Yeah.
There's the third yes. Now, I'm also asking for these things because I'm going to send whoever it is that I'm speaking to something of value. So when I ask for the text message, or when I ask if I can text them my contact information, I'm going to text them my contact information, but I'm also going to text them a seller's guide. I'm also going to text them testimonials from clients, video testimonials from clients who I've done the exact same thing for. Their agent failed them. I sold their home. I got them what they wanted. So, and the reason I do this is if I don't set the appointment at the end of the conversation, I want to have the ability to still connect with them at a very high level and give them things of value. So content of value. So whether that be testimonials, whether that be a CMA, whether it be a partridge in a pear tree, I want permission to be able to connect with them. And that's why I ask for so every call can be a win if you ask for this information. It doesn't, obviously I want to set the appointment, but in the event that I don't, I still want to have the ability to connect with them at a high level, add them into the top of my sales funnel, and get back with them in the future. Period. So that's why I continue to get information throughout the process. Outstanding. So what I'm going to do here is when we get off the phone, I will text you my contact information so that you have it. Just so you know, I'm with RE/MAX Direct. We've got 6 offices down here in South Florida. We've sold 15,000 homes since 2008. We're averaging 1 a day. Let me ask you this, and I know that you mentioned. Okay, so at this point, I'm starting to, I've got him to say yes 3 times, right? He's listening. We've got a good connection. There's good rapport. I'm letting him know I'm establishing myself as an authority. Now, at this point, you must know what your value proposition is. So you need to have some stats here to be able to put down, which establishes you as the authority versus the other people that are calling, because there's a lot of people calling, right? And if your tonation, if your vocal swagger is on, your confidence is on, that helps, but it's also very helpful to establish yourself as the authority. So right now is when I throw out stats. If you don't have your own personal stats, you can lean into your brokerages and use their stats. If you get creative, there are always ways for you to use data to establish yourself as the authority. You've just got to do a little legwork on your end. So if you've got your own stats, that's fantastic. If you don't, that's okay. You can use your teams. If you don't have a team, you can use your brokerages. There's always information out there that you can use to leverage yourself. At this point, it's appropriate to do that. So in my case, this is where I drop. We've got 6 offices. We've sold 15,000 homes since 2008. We're averaging 1 a day. Those aren't my stats. Those are the brokerages. But they're awesome, and they establish the fact that we've got systems and processes that work and that we're the authority in doing so. That you're listed. I'm curious, how did you choose your agent?
I listened to the advice of a friend. Won't do that again.
Okay. And the new one that you just...
I'll just take time to figure it out.
Yeah, okay. Well, let me ask you this. If you knew... All right, so... Again, I'm getting more feedback that they're not happy with their decision-making process. So I'm going to come right out and ask for the order. I'm going to close them right now. And so this is where I use the power close. Absolutely for certain that by doing business with me, 2 things would happen. 1, the home will sell. 2, you'll end up with significantly more money, bottom line, than you could get any other way. Now, I know that's a big promise, but would you at least want to hear more about it? Be honest.
For sure, of course.
Okay. Boom. Of course. Sure, of course, or whatever he said. I now know that he is, not only is he unhappy with his decision making, or not that he's unhappy. It's clear that he's not resolved to the fact that he hired the best person to do the job. I now know there's an open door for me to walk through and solve the problem. Okay. Well, let me ask you this. Are you local or are you out of state?
No, I'm local. I live at the address.
Okay. Is it possible to lay eyes on the property and see if it's something we believe we can get you multiple offers on and sell fast? At this point, that is these lines that we're using, the pitch that we're using, they're all part of the book that we've created, the field guide, if you will, to setting appointments on the phone. So when you join the Boiler Room Bootcamp event, you're going to get access to that. You're going to not only receive the exact scripts that we use, but exactly the mindset that we use, when to use the lines that we do, but it is a systemized process. So at this point, I'm asking for the order. I've already established that he is receptive. Now it's a matter of setting the appointment. So this is where you close, and that's what I'm doing now. Okay, do you have availability, let's see here, this afternoon or evening for me to meet with you and do that?
What time?
What time are you available? Again, I want to be as accommodating as possible. Also, I need to know my own schedule. But when is he available?
Probably, I don't know, to be honest with you. My schedule's pretty jammed up. I don't know if I'll be back before, I don't know. I may not be back before 6. There's a chance that I could be here by like 4, but if the new realtor's here taking photos, it's probably not a good idea for you to be here when that happens.
Yeah, no, so the reason that I bring that up is, and I know that you just hired somebody, but I also believe that your true allegiance is to your bottom line. And just so you know, I was just ranked in the top. So again, he's hired somebody. He doesn't seem resolved to the fact that he hired the best person to advocate on his behalf. So I'm now going to push a little bit harder. Most people would probably would get off the phone because he's told that they've been told that they've hired somebody else and they're taking photos tomorrow. Well, I don't believe that. I don't believe it's appropriate for me to stop pushing at this point because he seems unconfident that he made the right decision. So that's why I'm about to say what I'm about to say. 50 in the state of Florida, which means nothing to you, but here are the results that do. We get 97.2% a list, and we do it in an average of 9 days. Actually, let me rewind. We get 97.2%, and just so you know, I was just ranked in the top 50 in this. The reason that I bring that up is
taking photos is probably not a good idea for you to be here when that happens.
Yeah, no. So the reason that I bring that up is, and I know that you just hired somebody, but I also believe that your true allegiance is to your bottom line. And because he was so receptive, that is why I'm pushing. He was very receptive to everything I've said so far, and unconfident in or unresolved to the fact that he had hired the best person. So I'm pushing. We're not here to, I'm not running a charity. I'm running a business. He is also wanting the most money possible. And I don't believe, based on what he said, I don't believe he's done enough due diligence to satisfy himself. So I'm out there to offer a solution to his problem, which I believe at this point is that he hired the wrong person. But again, it's a gray area. It's not listed in the MLS. Well, just so you know, I was just ranked in the top 50 in the state of Florida, which means nothing to you, but here are the results that do. We get 97.2% a list, and we do it in an average of 9 days. We've got a full-time, full-service real estate team that works together to accomplish your goal, and the last thing that you want is to waste more time and not get the result that you want. So what I would encourage you to do, if it meets with your approval, is now, do you have a cancellation with them that you can So all that pushing is to get to this point right now, which is again, all of this is just a conversation. So it is critical to keep pushing in order to get the business. I have a responsibility to get the business. So at this point, I'm going to continue pushing. This is a conversation. I haven't violated any moral, ethical, or legal standard that's out there. I don't believe he's hired the best person to get the result that he wants. It's not listed in the MLS. And I want to know, okay, in the event that they did hire somebody who has not spent, again, if I was on the other end of this conversation, if I was the other realtor, I would not want to spend money on marketing a property and then have it taken away from me. So I just want to ensure there's a cancellation policy in effect, so he can get out of whatever it is he's in, if he in fact is in anything. Adhere to contractually, or are you locked in?
So the new realtor, there's a cancellation fee in the contract. Mm-hmm. I don't really care about that. I'm not worried about that. I just want to sell the house.
Okay, so here's what I would suggest, and it's a little bit unorthodox, it's a little bit unusual, but I think you can tell by my tenure. Okay, so now I found out that there is a cancellation fee, and that's great. Graciousness on the phone that I get results. I would like an opportunity to lay eyes on the property. I could, if you've got availability now, I could send you a link to some client testimonials, video testimonials that can kind of corroborate some of the things that I'm talking about here. But then, obviously, more importantly, I'd really like to lay eyes on the property and see if it's something we can get you multiple offers on and sell fast. So again, I now, and I mentioned this earlier, I'm going to give him valuable content. right? So they're getting a lot of, I'm sure that whoever I'm speaking to on the other end is getting tons of calls. Most of those calls don't have anything to support other than the fact that they're asking for a listing. For the most part, they don't have anything to support that they're legitimate, right? So I'm going to text them my seller's guide. I'm going to text them my video testimonials. I'm going to demonstrate through other people's word that I am legitimate and very good at what I do, because you can hear what I'm saying, but I can say anything over the phone. I've got, 25, 30 plus video testimonials from satisfied home sellers that I did an amazing job for. So I'll let them articulate my value proposition for me, but I do that very easily by sending them a link. And again, it's all about differentiation. So if I can differentiate myself on the phone with somebody who might, now in this case, this particular person was very receptive, very easy, and wanted to be sold. There are times where that's not the case. So you have to demonstrate value other ways. But again, it's a matter of, at this point, giving so much content that they're overwhelmed and just simply can't say no. So I have a mega open house in Weston Hills Country Clubs this afternoon between 4 and 7. I can meet you anytime up till about 1 today. And then tomorrow I can do it anytime. I definitely won't be able to make that. Okay, so let's put something down for tomorrow. Do you have availability in the afternoon or evening? Yeah, tomorrow afternoon I'll definitely have availability. Okay, so let me put you in for, can you do 2 o'clock? Should not be a problem. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do so there's no misunderstanding. I'm going to pencil you in for tomorrow at 2. In the interim, I'm going to text you my contact information so that you have it. Also a link to the testimonials that we just described. I will email you a pricing analysis just so we're both fluent and speaking the same language. And then tomorrow when we meet at 2, I'm going to show you how we're actually going to go out there and find the one buyer on planet Earth willing to pay more than anybody else. So again, he's been very receptive. I've got him to say yes multiple times along the path. I've continued to demonstrate value by contributing valuable content to him. By the time I actually meet him, I've sent him video testimonials. I've sent him a seller's guide. I've sent him a CMA. He's seen everything that there is to possibly see that's out there. And hopefully he goes one step further and Googles me and sees a ton of other content out there that demonstrates that I am exactly who I say I am. So again, it's all a process. It's this is exactly what we're going to teach you in the Boiler Room Bootcamp. So again, if this is something that's resonating with you, if this is something you want to learn how to do, we will teach you, you will learn, and all of this has been systemized into a field training booklet that you'll be able to follow and use in your own business and implement yourself. So let's keep going. Does that sound fair? Sounds great. Outstanding. I'll see you tomorrow at 2. Now, I do have an important question. When we sell the property and get you more money than you ever thought possible, will you do an amazing testimonial and tell everybody what a great job we did? So that's just the icing on the cake, right? At this point, I have won him over. I have earned his confidence. I have delivered vocal swagger. I have delivered confidence. I have delivered solutions to his problem. I have delivered testimonials and a seller's guide and a CMA. I've got him saying yes all along the path. There is nothing holding us back from getting this listing. Of course, I believe in testimonials. I'm happy to do that. Awesome. I love it. I will see you tomorrow. And not only that, he's agreed to enthusiastically give us a raving testimonial at the end of the process. So it's win, 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 all across the board. Full disclosure, not all of these conversations go this smooth, but this was a conversation that I wanted to highlight because I could have very easily given up instantly when he said that he had listed with somebody else. But I'm not going to take that as an answer. I'm going to keep pushing. I'm going to win every listing. I'm going to win every call that I get on because I believe internally that I've got a fiduciary responsibility to connect with everybody that I speak to and solve their real estate problem. So that's what I do. That's what we're going to teach you to do. And let's tomorrow at 2, and look for my information here shortly. All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Have a great day. Bye. All right. So there's the call. We're going to teach you what to say. We're going to teach you how to say it. We're going to do big things. We're going to teach you to close. And I look forward to meeting you at the bootcamp event. So again, any questions, reach out to me or Matt at any time. Click the links below to learn more. And I'll see you in September. Go out there and dominate. Get some.